You can see the iconic band, the Oak Ridge Boys, at the Bloomsburg Fair Sunday, September 21st in Bloomsburg, PA. Well, on the air with us is longtime legendary baritone for the Oak Ridge Boys and also Country and Gospel Music Hall of Famer and also Grand Ole Opry member William Lee Golden. First of all, William, a big hearty PA welcome to you and the guys. How are you doing today?
Ted, Bennett, the Oak Ridge Boys are doing great, man. We were out on the road this past weekend and everybody was singing incredible, and it was great to be out there. It's so uplifting to be singing and harmonizing together and to be able to do it after all these years. I think each day is so special and it's so memorable, man. It's because no 2 days are the exact same, and we're just thankful to still be out playing our music and singing our songs.
Well, before we begin, I want to convey and offer our condolences for the loss of Rusty as his tour goes on. So many firsts and seconds, as you know, as you play through the American-Made Farewell tour. I can't even imagine the pain that you must be going through. You know, my granddaddy once told me, he said, it's harder for the parents to bury their children than for the children to bury their parents. So just know that you and the band are in our thoughts and prayers, and we're praying for your healing as well as you bring this joyful music to the area.
Ted, I appreciate that so much, and you're right. Last year was certainly a terrible loss for all the Oak Ridge Boys, losing our longtime 50-year singing partner, Joe Bonzel, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was a proud Pennsylvanian, but he held the state upright, singing tenor for the Oak Ridge Boys for 50 years, and he sang the lead part on the iconic Elvira song. And Richard Sturban, our bass, it's from Camden there, he was doing the Papa Mau Maus. But, you know, it was a valley of sadness last year, and after all the loss that we went through with family and friends and our partner, singing partner, it was the music, getting back together and singing songs together, and that's what lifted us out of that valley of sadness. It seemed like the music has been the most healing thing that we can do, is get together and harmonize together and sing our songs, sing Oak Ridge Boys songs. It takes us to a place of happiness rather than a place of sadness, and we needed that mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. It's been healing, and that's what we've been needing, is the healing from all the loss, and its music has been the thing that's been the most effective in bringing us all back alive, so to speak. It's like water for a plant inside. It keeps it alive, and so the music keeps us uplifted, and that's the reason we're so excited to be able to sing every day we get the opportunity. I know we started that farewell thing before we lost Joe, and that was a tremendous loss, and he didn't get to sing but just a few days on that tour. But, you know, God works in mysterious ways. It was heart-wrenching to watch Joe suffer with ALS there for a couple of years, and but he was a trooper, man. He still had his voice and still toured and sang with us, and up to the end of 23 there. And Joe called our young friend, Ben James, that we had met him and sang on some shows with Ben James before, and Joe had passed him the mic one night when Ben was singing with Daly and Benson, and he handed the mic. They all came on stage to sing Elvira and Bobby Sue with us at the end of the concert, and when Joe handed him the mic, Ben took that and went with it like a bird, man. It was so beautiful. And then when Joe said, hey, I can't go any further, man, and he's the one that called Ben James, said, hey, Ben, get your singing britches on. The Oaks need you, and I need you to go help them, man. Said, I can't go any further, so get out there and help them through all of this. And Ben came in, and without a rehearsal, we had to go out that week, and he joined us. And without a rehearsal, he didn't miss a lick, he didn't miss a note, he didn't miss a word. And I was amazed, you know, but he had grown up singing our music and with our songs being played in their home, you know.
Sure.
But Ben is He's in his 20s, and I got grandkids older than Ben James, but he brings a talent and a youth and an energy to our group that we needed. Ray Brown heard Ben James sing, and Tony has produced more hit records than any producer in Nashville. He's produced George Strait's last 20 albums, and Reba McEntire's and Vince Gill's. But when he heard Ben James sing, he said, man, you've got an incredible high lonesome sound like I've not heard anyone have but one guy in the past 35 years. He said, and that's Vince Gill. He said, you're a brand new generation with a Vince Gill high lonesome sounding voice. And so I think that's a great compliment for any singer.
Oh, indeed it is.
Vince Gill is one of the great singers in country music.
Yes. Well, throughout the decades, your journey through various genres of music, gospel, pop, country, it seems like it's come full circle on this tour. For all the life lessons that you've gone through and as you're on the American-made farewell tour, does it bring back your gospel roots to where you began? You know, that peace and comfort and healing that only music can offer at a time that it seems like not only your family but our country needs it the most.
Ted, it does. And in fact, this year, you know, the Oak Ridge Boys have always tried to at least put a gospel song on every album. And in our concerts, we try to throw a gospel song in there, whether it would be Amazing Grace or whether it would be Have a Little Talk with Jesus. But something up-tempo or whatever. But we would mix it up when we would throw a gospel song in. This year, we've expanded the gospel section. We felt like that visiting our roots is important for us. It's been healing for us, and healing mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But it's something that we wanted to share our experiences and feelings with a section of our roots and where we come from. It's our foundation. And we do 4 gospel songs now, at least. And we do one new gospel song, which is the one that Ben James sang with us. And Ben also played the lead role in The Kid That's Leaving Home. But it's a gospel and country song. The second verse makes it a gospel song, but it's a great song. It's an up-tempo song, and it's a song about a mother. Because we did our last album was called Mama's Boys is our last album. Dave Cobb, that produces Chris Stapleton and some of the hot young names that are in country music today that's on radio and winning awards.
Yes.
Dave Cobb has produced the last 5 albums with the Oak Ridge Boys. And it was his idea for us to do the Mama's Boys album. And it was Dave's idea for these young writers to write songs for this album. And he got Aaron Rettier and David Lee Murphy to write a song together. And that's a song that we recorded and with Ben James. And it's called Come On Home. You can download it or whatever, but there's a video we did on that, and it just won a Telly Music Video Award for Video of the Year. But it's Come On Home by the Oak Ridge Boys and featuring Ben James as a kid leaving home and in the high-mile Cadillac to go make it, and it calls his mother and she said, come on home. If you're tired and weary, come on home. The front door is always open and the lights are always on. You know you're always welcome. Come on home. And but it's a touching song, man. It's about reality of life, and most guys go through something they can relate to that in their times of leaving home, and it can be a sad time and then a joyous time on the returns. But yeah, it's a great song. If you get a chance to play it, we would appreciate it. But we're excited to come bring Ben James to sing to the people there in Bloomsburg here next Sunday, and that'll be at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, man, the Oak Ridge Boys. So come on out in the afternoon. Hopefully it'll be good weather, perfect time of the year to be outside.
Boy, indeed it is. You know, you've connected for decades to a large fan base, and now the grandparents that listen to you are turning their grandkids on to the Oak Ridge Boys. Now, in reflection, William, have you ever thought about how your grandparents and maybe your great-grandparents would have felt about the musical journey that you're on now and the joy that it offers the world?
Well, I have, man, and in fact, I have to thank my granddaddy Golden. he had a radio show, and he was the one that allowed me and my sister, Lynette, she's the one taught me how to play guitar and sing harmonies when I was 6 and 7 years old. Then when I was 8 and 9 years old, we were get to sing a song on Granddaddy's radio show about once a week. And we're two little kids. I played rhythm guitar, and my sister played mandolin, and she did the lead singing, and I was her harmony singer. So that's how I started as a small kid. And we played together as a duet for 6 or 7 years, I guess. And then our little brother joined us. We had a trio for a couple of years, and then my sister got a little older, and she was older than I was. But then by then I was in high school and sang in my first quartet I sang in the FFA quartet, Future Farmers of America. And each school had a chapter, and they would encourage kids that played music and sang to get together as a group of people in the FFA. Mm-hmm. And so that's how our school participated. Is we had young kids that could sing quartet style.
Incredible. The FFA is still a big part of schools here in Central PA as well. We're talking about Ben James, and what a blessing for him to have this opportunity. It must have been an incredible process to arrive with him as the choice to bring into the Oak fold.
It is, and like I said earlier, man, God works in mysterious ways.
Amen.
It seemed like at the darkest of the night, God brings the light, and that's what happened in this situation. It was like Ben James is a God sent for the Oak Ridge Boys. But it helps us to continue what we didn't start. We all replaced a great singer 50 years ago, 60 years ago. The group has been going before any of the original members ever joined. It just happened that the guys that had been together with Joe Bonzo, Richard Sherman, Dwayne Allen's been here 60 years now. He's still a great lead singer, and as good a singer as there is in country music. But he and I have been together now for 6 decades.
Amazing.
But we've seen a lot of changes through the years, but there's one thing that always remains the same. Great songs and great harmony is still the backbone of who we are, and what holds us together and keeps us together is our love for harmony music. And Dwayne is one of the best at helping to keep the group going for as our recording. He works close with publishers and with record producers of hunting new songs constantly. The Oak Ridge Boys are going back in the studio next month later on.
Wonderful.
And October and doing a new album. And Dave Cobb is going to be overseeing that, putting the people with us that we need to be recording with and helping to find some of the songs that we record.
Yeah.
But it'll be the second album we've done with Ben James, but Dwayne Allen has played a major part of all of our albums for the past 6 decades of the new music, finding new music. He's one of the hardest working guys, hunting new songs and working with publishers and writers, songwriters, and up-and-coming songwriters, and keeping the Oak Ridge Boys with new music and singing and doing a new album every year, basically. So that's been going on for 6 decades, and we can just count up how many songs that Dwayne Allen has been basically not only a great lead singer, he's a great harmony singer, and when another guy takes a lead, he is an incredible harmony singer, too.
Yes.
So he's a great voice and a great partner, and certainly a visionary guy as far as music is concerned, and it's all about the music and the song. If we didn't have the good songs, we wouldn't be able to leave home.
Well, looking back at your long list of hits, is there any song in particular that surprised you most about how popular it became?
Well, the song that we mentioned earlier in the show here that Joe Bonzo sang, Elvira. We knew it was a good song, and we had heard it for several years. Dallas Frazier wrote it, and he had it on his first album that he released after he come to Nashville. But Dallas had the song. Charlie Rich had it on an album. Kenny Rogers, the first edition, had it on an album. And Rodney Crowell had Elvira on an album. But Elvira, when we released that, it was before we released it. We had just recorded it, and Ron Chancey wanted us to change it up. He wanted Joe to wanted it to be a high lead singing the song, and he wanted Richard to do the step-out lines of the Papa, Mau, Maus, and do those in a bass line voice. But the rest of us harmonizing on the choruses, and but that's what set the song apart, made it so memorable. And the first time we sang the song in concert was in Spokane, Washington, and we were there for a big concert at the arena there, and we got together with the band that afternoon on the stage and rehearsed 2 or 3 songs that we had just recorded. And Elvira was one of them, and we decided that night we would just drop Elvira in the middle of the set list, in the middle of the show.
Right.
Just sing it, add it into there, and keep going. When we sang the song, at the end of it, that crowd exploded like I had never heard before or since, but it was unbelievable. Stop applauding and going on and on. We backed up and said, what do we do here? We said, well, let's sing it again. We sang it again. It was the same response at the end. We sang it again, and it was still the same response at the end. And we said, hey, we got to go on here. We got more songs to sing. And no other song got them going like that. And at the end of the show, the last song we did still didn't get them like that. So we threw Elvira back one more time. And sure enough, it was just as wild every time we did it. At the next night in Seattle, it was the same reaction in the middle of the show. We did it the next night in Portland, Oregon, and it was the same reaction. We called the record label on Monday and said, hey, we don't know what you got in mind to release as a single, but this is what's happening out here on the road with Elvira. And you might want to think about it because it's happened the past 3 nights in a row. And they did. They released it. It went up to the top of the charts faster than anything in country music. It sold more singles than anything in country music. It spilled over into pop and rock and roll, and every station of the middle of the road was playing and singing Elvira in 1981, the summer of 81.
Are there any songs that you turned down over the years that you wish now you guys would have recorded?
Well, not really, but there was one song I remember that was offered to the Oak Ridge Boys, and the Oaks turned it down. Didn't feel like it was kind of, and it was after Elvira and all, but we thought it was, we didn't know, but it just wasn't something we felt like we could do, and it was Achy Breaky Heart that Billy Ray did. So, yeah, but he did a great job on it, too. I don't think he got the right cut. So, but that song was pitched to the Oaks before he did record.
Amazing. One more question here. I know you're a busy man. What kind of things interest you when you're away from the music scene, like hobbies, things that give you joy on a personal level?
Well, man, sometimes I enjoy camping out. Being around a campfire, but that's me. I grew up on a big farm in South Alabama, Northwest Florida. So being outdoors and sometimes, and we were surrounded by a lot of forests where we grew up, and timber was a big business there. So we were all surrounded by big forests where our farms were. But our family was big farmers too: cotton and peanuts, soybeans, and wheat and oats. But we still farm there. I still go to the home place, man.
Yeah, that
3
must be
weeks
awesome.
ago, I was down there on the farm and slept in my same bedroom. Different bed, but my old bedroom, man. But I got the old home place there that I go back to. My sister lives across the street, so she's the one that taught me how to sing, and it's I don't ever forget where I'm coming from. It helps me stay grounded. That's the reason that singing 4 or 5 gospel songs at a concert helps keep us grounded and knowing where we come from, and never forget that, because that's probably the most important message we'll leave them all night.
Yes. William Lee Golden, you've been blessed in so many ways, and we like to remind everybody that you can see the iconic band, the Oak Ridge Boys, at the Bloomsburg Fair this Sunday, the 21st, in Bloomsburg, PA. Thank you so much for your time, William, and thanks for touching my life. I appreciate you.
Chad Bennett, you've been a great guy to talk to here, and I just thank you for letting me be on your show today, man, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock at the fair.